What is up YouTube, and welcome back to the RiftGuides WildRift video. We have the newest patch on our hands and it's time for a massive Corki rework. So let's start with the patch and let's skip all the other stuff that's not necessary and let's get right at it. WildRift patch notes 6.0c. We've got the boogie on our tail, Corki's rework, the launch of Gnar, balance changes and more. Welcome to patch 6.0c. Welcome to patch 6.0c, we are continuing to stay in our Yordle era and we'll be launching Gnar as well as Corki's rework this patch, and thank goodness for that. We've had some boogies on our tail, so we are glad he'll be able to lend us a hand. Additionally, we will be bringing back our Earth and some one fall, and of course we will have some other standard balance changes. First off, we have the new champion, Mr. Gnar. Gnar is an excitable Yordle whose playful antics can erupt into a toddler's outrage in an instant, transforming him into a massive beast bent on destruction. Frozen in true ice for millennia, the curious creature broke free and now hops about a changed world he sees as exotic and wondrous. Delighted by danger, Gnar flings whatever he can see at his enemies, be it his bone-toothed boomerang or an uprooted tree. Speaking, I think it's more like a boulder, no? Anyway, he'll be released on the 21st of February. We got the events coming here as well. To help the welcome of Gnar to the Rift, complete missions and earn some free goodies. The event will start on the 21st of February. Together under the Crescent. Join your favorite purrs again as they fill the night with music, friendship and food. There will be a minigame to play, sleepy purrs to wake and plenty of rewards to earn. This event will be starting on the 1st of March. Spring rotating game modes. With us rotating some game modes in, we wanted to give you a way to track them. The spring rotating game modes will act as a little in-game calendar, telling you when and what modes are rotating. It will also grant you some goodies. This will start on the 7th of March. Game modes, RF, all random ultra rapid fire. Stretch those thumbs because RF is making its return this patch. Hop in with friends for some fast, fun and random gameplay. This starts on the 21st of February. One for all, with the release of Gnar, we thought it would be the perfect time to bring back one for all, 5 Gnars flinging their boomerangs around in the Rift. Sign us up right now. Okay. Champion changes. We have Corki. Currently Corki doesn't meet our expectations as a mixed damage marksman. His special delivery mechanic on his second ability, Valkyrie, requires him to dive deep into the bogeys who have been on his tail all game. This conflicts with how marksmen and mages normally position, which has made it difficult when deciding how to build him each game. So we wanted to emphasize his role as a burst-oriented marksman and shifted his gameplay focus to have a mix of basic attacks and abilities. We know how fun it is to pick up the package though, so we kept it as a part of his kit while making sure you don't feel like you have to go in for reckless engages with it. Please note that some of Corki's stats might be tweaked upon release, but we'll be communicating these changes with you. So what do we have here, lads? Okay, we first have a change to basic abilities, basic attributes. We have a change from the, let me quickly select everything required here. Okay, cool. 5880, let me make this a little bit bigger. 5880 to 54 and 4 per level on 80 to 3.5 per level on 80. Okay, this looks like a nerf, but if we take a look at the second part here, the Hextech munitions, we have an adjustment. Previously, his passive was you deal 20% physical damage and 8% magical damage with your auto attack, but now you'll be dealing 100% physical damage plus 20% true damage. So we have a full identity shift. Not only this, we also have the new package. After hitting an enemy champion 6 times with a missile barrage, the package is delivered to Corki. He can pick it up to gain 4 big ones. So the question here is, this here, 6 times. Does it mean individual champions? Because if you hit a big rocket anyway on somebody, that counts like a multi-hit, right? Because you hit multiple champions at the same time. So this can be accelerated. So this is something to look into once this champion is actually released. Phosphorus Bomb. The bullet speed is increased, which we see here. We see the cooldown changes from 7 static to 9 to 6 flexible. The damage sees a massive change. The flat part remains totally the same, but the scaling is increased by a lot. We see like a 70 to 120% bonus AD scaling increase, and the ability power is a 50 to 100% ability power increase. So this ability got mega buffed. Next we have Valkyrie. They remove the part with the old package and they add a new cooldown. Now the cooldown scales down from 19 to... Well, no, sorry, it previously scaled down from 19 to 16, now it's 18 to 12. The mana consumption is also changed. It was 100 static and now it starts with 80 and goes up to 95. Then we also have a big damage change. The flat damage remains the same, but it gains an 80 scaling, which it previously didn't have, and it increased ability power scaling from 40 to 60%, as well as the trail burning is decreased from 3 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Okay, Gatling gun. The damage is being changed from magical to physical, so far so good. The target isn't going to be shredded anymore in terms of magic resistance, but now it shreds armor and magic resistance from 10 to 25 flat. So this is a big reduction in resistances. The cooldown is also down from 14 to 12 seconds. The mana consumption goes from 50 static to 50 scaling to 80, and the overall damage is being decreased here from 32 on tick 1 to 25 and from 80 to 70, and the attack damage scaling remains the same. Now we see the ultimate change here as well. We see the damage type from magic to physical, here we see it. The maximum stacks from 6 to 4. Basic attack against champion reduces the time between charges, 2 plus 200% critical strike rate on hit. The missile preparation time from 10 to 8 to 20 seconds. The normal missile damage is also seeing a change. We see a decrease on rank 1, you see here, and an increase the moment we look at the rank 2 and rank 3 of the spell. We also see, we also see no longer an ability power scaling. That one is completely gone, and the 80 scaling is being changed. It was 20 to 75 to 75 scaling, and now it's 70% flat across all levels. Okay, then we also have the empowered missile damage. What do we have here? There we see on level 1 it's still weaker, on level 2 it's also still weaker, on level 3 it's also still weaker in the flat department, but we see a scaling change. So in the past it was 50% to 150% attack damage, plus 40% ability power. Ability power is now gone, but now we have, even on rank 1, the damage of 140%. So this makes Corki stronger earlier. So what are they doing? Corki gets a lot stronger with these changes. He is becoming a terrible monster because he will not care too much about resistances, especially thanks to the power of his passive now. Also, he has gotten a change from magical identity to physical identity, which makes him a very good physical damage mid laner, which we kinda lack in current times, because you have like Zed, Talent is not really a champion, then you have 80 carries you can play in the mid lane. But yeah, it's very good that we have a new champion that we can play in the mid lane on 80 when we require 80. I think Corki's gonna be a G tier champion, like one of the best champions. Kindred. We want to give Kindred's damage a boost in the mid and late phases of the game. As Kindred gains more marks throughout the game, they'll now be granting a little bit of extra attack speed and damage. What are they doing? First ability, Dance of Arrows. The bonus attack speed is now being increased from 20 plus 3% per stack to 25 plus 5% per stack. That is a big increase in power, a very big one. Then also we have Mounting Dread. The damage is being increased flat from 80 to 90, so we see a 10 flat increase, as well as a 10% increase in bonus scaling. So Kindred is also solidifying her spot in the S or S plus tier. It just requires you to be good, because the champion doesn't play itself like you'd play Xin Zhao or Pantheon, or like for example Riven and Ambassa. You actually get punished if you're bad. Gwendolyn. Gwen struggles when she has to chase down fleeing foes, so we are enhancing the slow effect on her ultimate while also slightly increasing some of her stats to give her more strength in her duels. We are No way, we are certain. This should keep everyone's favorite seamstress out. Okay, the mana consumption of Snip Snip is being reduced from 40 to 35. The Hallowed Mist resistances are being increased from 14 to 18, so an increase by 4 across their board, and the slows being increased by 5 in total on her ultimate ability. This will not make Gwen a lot stronger, it will help her out, but it will not make her like super meta. But yeah, I'm not used to making any significant changes anyway, but yeah, it's a change that doesn't really do anything. Or not too much. Renekton. As a champion was primary strength in this dominating lane, Renekton should have sufficient laning strength, so we're increasing his damage in the early stages of the lane to help him keep his identity as an early game powerhouse. Healing is being increased by 7 to 9 on rank 1 and 13 to 22 on the first ability. The damage on the Ruthless Predator, which is the second ability, is seeing a 5 flat increase, and the damage on the Empowered version is also increased by 5 flat. So now let's talk about this. Nothing here changes, this doesn't change anything. Number one, you should never blind pick Renekton. Renekton is a pick you want to pick into something. You don't want to blind pick Renekton because you get punished like crazy, because Renekton can't deal with any bruises in his video game. Like he just can't. Like real bruises, which go divine, and tanks, Renekton can't do anything to them. He just sits there and gets outscaled. That's the problem. So you don't want to blind pick Renekton. And they're also not really changing too much here. He has a little bit more sustain. And this, like Renekton in a good game was already very good, but Renekton in a bad game is terrible. So again, this doesn't put Renekton over the threshold where you can just pick him every single game and be like turbo smurfing. It makes him better, but you know my stance on buffs. Just because a champion gets buffed, it doesn't mean he's necessarily good. The same as just because a champion gets nerfed doesn't mean he's bad. It just makes him better as he already is, given if you pick him into the right games. Rakan. Oh, Broken Sword will be happy about this one. Rakan needs to engage to set up his team for success, but right now he's struggling to do that because of his low survivability. To lend his Charmer a hand, we're increasing his mobility, which should help him find more opportunities to initiate fights for his team and make it safer for him to retreat. The Gleaming Quill, the first ability, is getting a 2-second cooldown reduction across the ranks. The basic regeneration is also seeing a change in formula. So we have 15 plus champion level times 7 to 30 plus champion level times 6. So it's a buff in early game, right? Yeah, it's a buff in early game. I don't want to math this out, like how much of a difference it is on level 15. I'm too lazy for that one. Math geniuses in the chat, do your job if you can't hold yourself back. Grant Entrance. The cooldown is being reduced. The moment we talk about the second level of the spell, this is obviously the spell you want to max first, so we get a 1.5 second cooldown reduction. The E is getting a range increase, 600 to 700. This is a very cool buff for Rakan. It's also dangerous, because if you ran the setup of Zeke's and Awakened Soulstealer, Rakan was such a very scary champion to deal with. So Rakan One-Tricks will absolutely be happy about this one, and Rakan will definitely go back into a way better position. But yeah, Rakan's biggest issue was not building him right, and well, Rakan is a champion that gets punished if you're bad. Vex. We're improving Vex's laning ability and reducing the cooldown of her ultimate. This will allow her to effectively Vex her foes by roaming to the lanes more often in the mid game and help her fill the role as her team's playmaker better. The first ability gains 10 flat damage, and the ultimate gets a 10-second cooldown reduction. The biggest problem with Vex, though, is that there's one certain rune called Perseverance that is completely negating a big portion of Vex damage, because Vex kits functions in a way that she goes in and CCs people. The issue with this is, the moment you apply your damage, the Perseverance will be procced and the target will gain 16 to 30 magic resistance, which will make them a lot tankier. Plus your champion is very, very, very committal, so you have to keep that one in mind. This makes Vex better, but it doesn't bring her into the meta. She needs more buffs, or maybe even a change to a rune to bring her back to former glory. Because yeah, that is not going to be enough. Swain. As a mage who likes to get rid of, who gets right into the fight, Swain should have both durability and sustained damage. To ensure he has both, we are strengthening his late game survivability, which will allow him to deal continuous damage more effectively during his ultimate. He's gaining 8 health per level, his first ability is getting an increase starting on the second rank by 5, 10 and then 15 on the highest rank of the first bolt, and the Demonic Ascension, which is his ultimate, is gaining more regeneration by increase by 5. So the problem with Swain is, he's a low-ranged battle mage. I think that's the proper categorization. I'm not quite certain about being a battle mage. But yeah, you get the idea, he goes in. The problem with him going in is there are so many other champions that completely deny his ability of actually going in. And Swain, if he doesn't go full damage, doesn't do any damage. So Swain will not be good after this. The problem is, the better that the enemy team is, the more problematic it will be for Swain to play. Swain's best position, by far, is still with the Senna in the bot lane. So if anything, I'm more happy to see these buffs so Senna Swain can be played more often, but generally speaking, this will not make Swain good. Not even remotely, it will not be enough. It's still a fun champion, but he still suffers from the same issues. Okay, that was apparently all the champion changes. That's a nothing burger. Okay, right, games. Gameplay changes. Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages takes too long to stack, which makes it difficult for champions who build it to have sufficient power in their mid-game fight, so we're shortening its stacking time. They changes from 1 stack per 40 seconds to 1 stack per 35 seconds. The issue with this is, Rod of Ages is not an item that's desired. The reason is it doesn't have haste. It doesn't have haste, it doesn't have immediate power, it just has a lot of stats. So if you're a scaling champion like Kassadin, or a champion like Swain who desires this item. Is there any other champion that likes to build Roar nowadays? Is there even a champion that can build it without griefing it's like the entire build he has? We have Swain, we have Kassadin. Can you please remind me of another champion? Because there's nothing coming to mind right now where Rod of Ages is actually making a big difference. Because the item just doesn't do enough. Yeah, it's stats, but you don't necessarily care about that one. Because other items just do the job better, way earlier. So you can snowball even better. But yeah, I'm just thinking of these two champions, like Swain and Kassadin. So Swain got indirectly buffed with this, like a tiny bit, and Kassadin as well. I mean, not tiny, because obviously you lose 50 seconds on your scaling, or gain 50 seconds on your scaling, which is in WildRift terms quite a lot of time. But yeah, not a significant change that is going to impact how good this item is received. No meta champion, apart from champs who already built this item, will build this item if they didn't build it before. Rune changes. Sudden impact. We've been keeping an eye on champions who pick sudden impact and feel we can adjust its damage scaling curve. This will allow assassins and fighters who take this rune to hit their power specs more effectively in the mid game. This rune is that 10 to 80 growth cap by 15, 10 to 80 growth cap by 10. This rune just doesn't do anything. It's complete. Just don't. This will not be enough. It's simply not enough damage. Because of the high cooldown and the little damage increase. The problem is, champions in the jungle would simply go for overgrowth in the rune department because this rune doesn't do enough. It's not enough damage still. And for laning, there are also better options. So I think they need to maybe reevaluate the rune in total and look for another rune, because I don't think, like, this is just a reskinned cheap shot. Like, Scorch, Cheap Shot, and Sudden Impact feel very out of place nowadays in current WildRift. So I really hope that they're actually gonna look at that one in the near future. Or these three ones. Enchanted Ensemble. We've noticed that the instrument monsters spawned by the Enchanted Ensemble after hitting turrets have been extremely high health, making it a bit too long for defending players to clear them. We're adjusting their stats to ensure they'll still pose a significant threat to turrets while making them easier for defenders to deal with. The Enchanted Trumpet, health 300 to 1200 hold up, let me actually show this, 300 to 1200 to 250 to 1000, and the attack damage from 50 to 60, so they deal a little bit more damage. The Enchanted Organ or Drum, 400 to 1600 to 350 to 1400, and the damage from 40 to 50. I think this is good. It was really annoying to deal with the Enchanted Ensemble alone. It took way too long, and the primary thing is, if you lose tier 1 to the Enchanted Ensemble and nobody's there, you'll probably also lose tier 2 because these things are too tanky. As for skins, we have the Super Galaxy Gnar and the Dragon Blade Riven. We have the Releasing Gnar on the 21st of February and Riven on the 28th. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, check out everything in the description below, especially if you want to save on skins, and we'll see each other for more content very, very soon. So take care and enjoy your day.